So, all right, now they should be able to hear us. All right.
Can you
Susie's
hear me
here.
now?
All right. Well, it's good that
Susie!
we were just letting everyone filter
Susie
in at this
Q.
point. Just letting everyone filter in. Can everyone hear us now?
Everybody, just so you know, you need to find your
There.
own. You need
All
to
right.
find your own Susie. Everybody.
Everybody needs a Susie.
You need to find your own Susie.
All right. So we're gonna let everyone filter in just a squeegee bit more, and then we're gonna
She's
get
like,
into
yup.
this. Yup.
That's fine.
We'll say hello to some people. Hello, Truth Serum. Hello,
Yeah.
Susie Von Slaughter. Hello, Anthony DiCharo. Hello, Undead89. Hello, Mikey Mnemonic. Hello,
Yes,
Anthropomantic Fiend.
and obviously a special belated birthday to our dude Mikey. Trauma Trash Mnemonic. Much love to you, my dude. Hope you had
Maurice
a rad
the
status
Beast.
birthday, even though you said you had to go to work that evening.
Cinema of the Dead making the rounds. I think I saw him on the checking out the Dave McRae stream a little bit ago.
Horror Show Kills. Ben Grimm, who I
Sandra.
met at Texas Frightmare.
Ben Grimm. I'm so bummed that I
Yeah.
didn't get to, unfortunately.
Well, dude, it was when I was leaving the Joe Bob panel.
Yeah.
And he asked if we were going to the Halloween panel, and I was like, well, we're going to try, and I'm hoping
Yeah,
to. And yeah,
didn't
it
happen.
didn't end up happening, which is a bummer.
Sarah Counts is here. Sandra Wilbrenner is here. So yeah, we've got a lot of people in the house already.
Sherry Counts knows what's up because Shazam is the shit. So
Indeed, Shazam is.
This guy
is
bought
tons of
it
fun.
already.
I did. I have it over there on the floor waiting
Corey.
for me.
Dude, Corey's here.
Corey, what up, Corey Novak?
Yeah.
All right. So I'm gonna make sure I'm actually gonna do a little bit of production on this, the very minimal amount, you guys.
Do your thing.
So it's going to be a
do your
little bit
thing.
better than usual as far as presentation goes. At least you'll be able to follow what story we're on as we go. I'm about to get a sleep study done.
Oh, so
okay,
that means
Susie.
she's not sticking around.
Nope, probably not for very long.
Well,
All right.
thank you, Susan.
Well, we've got 22 people watching, so I
Yeah.
think we can go ahead and get this thing started. News with Foes. Oh, yeah, I guess we should do that.
It kind of helps.
So-
That's why I got it in hand.
Hey,
Cinema
everyone.
of the Dead.
I'm Cecil Laird,
And I'm Jaime Fuego.
and this is the Horror Show News.
With booze. Yeah, cheers,
Oh, yeah, we got to cheers
senor.
that. Cheers, cheers, cheers.
I've got this bloody beer kind of thing going on. Some Cholula, a nice light lager, and yeah.
Ugh.
Mm.
Yep, I got a good one here.
Yeah, he's
All right,
got
go
the
ahead.
vo- yeah,
Let's say what we're drinking.
He's got the vodka going on. Ooh. Well, yeah, that's what I just said. I've got some nice Cholula going on.
A specific beer?
It's
or
like
no?
basically with a. Well, I'm not going to divulge the
Oh,
kind
okay.
of beer that I'm drinking right here.
Fair enough. I didn't realize it was a secret. Okay. And I'm drinking vodka with pineapple and a splash of cran grape.
Notice how she's like, and I'm Susie Von Slaughter, as if she's here with
Yeah.
us. Why aren't you here, Suze?
Movie Geek
You're not
is
a
in the
KG
house.
elephant
Eddie D is
and
in the
back.
house. So, all right, let's jump into it, you guys. So we're going to start off talking about the big news.
Yeah.
And here we go. Let me
Which-
get this ready.
Honestly, we're like, okay, this
Yeah.
is the thing. Cecil and I-
Graphics and story following along, y'all.
Yes.
That's what we're talking about this time.
Okay, so Cecil and I have been talking for probably the last couple of years that we've been doing news before even we incorporated the booze factor, in the fact that we should do news bites, like horror news bites. This is probably one of the situations where we should have done
Probably
a
should
horror
have.
news bite.
My computer was in the shop, unfortunately,
Yeah.
for a reason that I didn't even need it to be, unfortunately.
Yeah,
found out
so
after the
I
fact.
saw the new background, but after much speculation, after much bloody disgusting, and Brad Miska and Squires and
Have a
all
good
those
summer
guys
camp,
trying
Anthropomantic.
their damnedest to just break the story before anybody else could. Well, they didn't end up being able to because of the fact that the final confirmation, I think, was either from Deadline or THR, one of those. But we are getting a back-to-back filming of the next two Halloween movies, and they allege. Once again, they allege these will be the last two Michael Myers movies ever made.
Oh,
You're
they said
so
the ever made? My asshole.
ending the saga with the Strodes and so
Okay,
on and
ending
so
the
forth.
Strode saga, yes, last ever made. I seriously doubt it, but
Mm.
at least this puts to rest the rumor that was prevalent a month or so ago, where the idea was that they were going to release two, like 2 weeks apart or some
And that
shit
was
like
bloody,
that.
disgusting, stupid room. And as much as I
Scooby
love,
Steve.
and as much as I love bloody, man, I
Patron
mean,
right there.
I really do not necessarily think that
Just
they
like
were
Mikey.
as on point on the trail of information as they thought that they necessarily were. So yes, we have Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, and those will be coming in October of 2020 and 2021 respectively.
They'll stop beating a dead horse when it stops spitting out money.
Yeah.
Fair enough, Cole.
I was
fair
talking
enough.
about beating a red-headed dead horse, man. That's like one of my favorite lines that I've concocted
I know,
myself.
it really is your favorite line.
And I beat that, and I
You
live up,
beat it
and
like
I live
the
up to that
red-headed
name.
dead
Yes,
horse,
I beat that.
for fucking sure. So yeah, now here's
David
my
Gordon
thoughts on
Green
this.
coming back to direct.
And supposedly the gang's all back. Supposedly even Danny McBride coming back to co-write
both of them. Yeah.
So we're gonna get more peanut butter penis jokes.
I guess. What was
Yay?
that? What was the nay?
Yeah, I mean that's
Give me
that's
Eastbound
my
and
point.
Down, Danny. What are you doing? I mean, that was just strangeness.
Susie, you literally can see how her name is spelled, and you still misspell her name. How dare you?
Sandra.
She's still spelling it like she's saying it from England. You don't have to spell like your accent, Susie.
Cassandra.
So anyway, I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm okay with this outside
cool
of the
with
fact that Halloween YouTubers are going to dominate the landscape for the next 2 years. That's going to be frustrating because
I love Lee. I love
not specifically Lee. I'm not specifically saying Lee. I'm saying Halloween loving YouTubers are going to milk the crap out of the next 2 years, and it's like it's almost like a horror fan can't get a word in edgewise when it's a Halloween release year. At least in my experience from 2018. So Andrew's in the house. What's up, Andrew?
No mercer.
So, but outside of
Mikey's
that,
like must be a weird part of England.
I'm glad
That's
that they just are saying right now, look, no bones about it. We're doing 2 more. Like, we're not going to string you along and say we're only going to do 1 when we actually have 2 planned.
With the
We're doing
success of it
2.
alone, I mean,
They're
it
Lord of
just
the
makes
Ringsing it.
complete sense. Yeah, they're Lord of the Ringsing it. They're Avataring it. I mean, so many of these franchises where they're like, okay, let's kind of, I don't know, consolidate our efforts and film as much as possible in one like production schedule, and that'll save them immense amounts of money. It makes total sense, especially with the Blumhouse model. That's all about like conserving costs and making as much money as possible. It was well received. Even I didn't love it, but I certainly didn't hate it. I thought the score from Carpenter was badass, and that was one of the strongest suits in it. And he is apparently going to be back in a producer / scoring capacity, at least from what we've heard so far. So that's, I mean, really beyond the fact that October 20 and October 21, that's all that we know. And it was counter programming to all the Comic-Con news this past weekend, I guess, when this came out. So yeah, more power to Blums, man.
Yeah, it is still relatively exciting. I mean, it wasn't my favorite movie of the year, but Halloween 2018 was still a solid movie. There were a couple of big missteps. Sorry, Tane. But outside of that,
Killing no one.
well, the gore and everything was on point. Stupid, banh mi sandwich jokes notwithstanding, the movie was relatively enjoyable.
Tracking shot, dude, where it was just like following him going through.
That was good. That was good. But they showed a lot of that in the trailer.
Yeah, it was like.
Did we say that it's Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends? Did you mention that?
I did. Yeah.
Okay.
So Halloween Kills is the 2020
I'm next to you. I don't
film.
listen to you. It's weird.
And then Halloween Ends is the film that's coming in 2021. They're both going to be released in October. They're going to own that spot that used to be Saw, that even before, actually even after that was Paranormal Activity. Because there has to be some sort of like big popular franchise that stakes their claim, so to speak,
in the
that
Halloween
territory.
month.
Yeah, in October.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense that it's Halloween.
Yeah,
it really does. It does.
I'm okay with it, man. And I mean, the fact that Jamie Lee Curtis is confirmed to be coming back for both, which I think maybe just gives a little bit of a spoiler aspect to the fact. I mean, are they going to kill daughter like we thought in the first movie, in the second, and then in the third one?
They got to do something to invest us because we have zero investment in the Strodes.
They have to raise the stakes,
or the
man.
new Strodes, anyway.
I mean, somebody dying is what raises the stakes, and the fact that was my biggest gripe in a lot of ways with the finale of that first film in this new trilogy, because it's going to be a trilogy at this particular point. The fact that none of the Strodes died, it really felt like kind of a cop-out to me in some aspects, but that's just me personally. So
I agree.
Yeah.
Chase Smith says, but Saw will be released 2 weeks after the next Halloween, so might not be claiming it that much. It's a good point, Chase. Good point.
Yeah.
Good point. By the way, not going to go into it, not your personal business, but congratulations on the post, man. I thought that was a really strong post you made. Chucky, Charles Lee Ray, whoop, whoop, whoop. Okay, yeah, all right, Chucky. All right, we're going to move along here. No, we don't get political. I'm dense. I thought it's so. Sarah Counts made a joke. You know what needs to be announced? The Dog Liker review.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I saw
Do you
that.
actually know the extent of all that was?
I not the full extent, but I think it's funny that when I deflated a few minutes ago, it was when I read that, and then she said, "Messing with Fuego." I get the joke.
No. Sarah knows because she was there for that live stream where the troll came on and all the Dog Liker stuff. Anyway, but. So second biggest story, shall we shift on to that? Do you think that is the
let's move along, which is an interesting story in and of itself, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so
stories are back. Boom,
so we're obviously not here to give like full like nerdtastic Comic-Con coverage. That's kind of something that I like gravitate towards with my personal channel in Fuegotainment.
But appropriate ones are appropriate to cover.
Indeed, and that's why I always love when we get to have that crossover aspect and the fact that so the MCU just very adamantly proclaimed at the Phase 4 announcement this past weekend at San Diego Comic-Con that the second entry in the Doctor Strange not only was going to have Scarlet Witch in it, which I thought was an interesting pairing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, a very interesting pairing. But that is going to be called the Multiverse of Madness, and it is, as, like, quote, like actual quotations, the first MCU horror movie.
I love that, dude, because Doctor Strange lends itself so well to horror. Mm-hmm. It really, really does.
He's a character that I still do not know an immense amount about. Like, you and Lou have tried to inform me properly about that, but essentially, aside from the Cumberbatch stuff, and the fact that I felt that film even had some psychedelic kind of scary leanings with some of the stuff that they did, it didn't really fully embrace it, and this second sequel is, well, this actual sequel, second film in, just him getting the forefront of all the spotlight, it's really going to do it. Mm-hmm. Are you cool with this? And Scott Derrickson's coming back, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah, well, Scott Derrickson comes from horror, right? Was it Sinister, or was it...
that is one that I would have to double check.
Scott Derrickson, I know, was either Sinister or... I think he was Sinister.
Okay, so this I should obviously know, but Derrickson had a background in horror. That is the reason why he was initially picked, cherry-picked specifically for this particular property, and I love the original film, man. Okay, boom. Sinister, you were right.
And The Exorcism of Emily Rose, which is fucking quality.
Which you still talk about all the goddamn time because it has Dexter's sister, right?
So good, yeah. She's great in it.
Yeah.
But Exorcism of Emily Rose is one of the best exorcism movies of all time.
Yeah.
He wrote Sinister.
Yeah, Chase and Chase is a viewpoint that I hold in the highest regard. Chase,
sure.
I hope you're good, man.
Oh, so the WandaVision show will be tying directly into the Doctor Strange movie as well. Thank you, Chase.
Yeah, and that's the one thing that I did not like directly look at the extent of the slate and the interconnectivity of it. All that I saw was that we have the Eternal movies coming. We have obviously our next story, which we will be mentioning in just a moment. Mm-hmm. Blade, man.
I'm excited, and I think how do you say his name? Mahershala Ali?
Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali.
Green Book
was a pretty good first try.
Green Book was... okay, it's a very debatable movie as far as if it was pandering or if it was really, really good. I personally loved it, and yet I understand the gripes and some of the, I don't know, just concerns that certain people had with it. However, I thought it was a fantastic film.
I'm going to be a Mahershala Ali hipster right now.
Really? Well, what you should do is the fact that when I saw him in Alita Battle Angel, I knew he would be Blade.
Okay, that's fair.
I know when he had those shades on, he's a bad guy in Alita, okay? But when he was rocking those tiny little, almost Morpheus.
Oh, the Morpheus. He should play Morpheus in the Matrix reboot too.
Dude, I thought that immediately when they made this casting announcement, I just thought of Alita and the fact that he got all the just praise and acclaim from Green Book last year, last year, but carried over into this year, obviously with the Oscar season. Dude, he's gonna be a badass Blade. I am so stoked about this casting. I think it's badass.
I'm gonna go hipster on you guys. I've been a fan of Ali's since his early TV turn in a show called The 4400.
Say what?
The 4400, if any of you guys know this show, it was a very big, it was like a superhero kind of show where people had powers, and Ali was one of these people. It had to do with like it was like 4,400 people disappeared, and I think they were kidnapped by aliens, and then they all reappeared at once. And it was the story of them reappearing years later and stuff like that. It was kind of like Left Behind or The Remaining or whatever the hell. There have been a number of things like it. But 4,400, he was in, and he was great even back then. He was like one of the standout performances. So,
Nice.
yeah, 4,400 USA Network, Corey says. So,
Well, he's
been
Detective
excellent
Season 3
for 15 years, in my opinion. Because that show was on in like 2005, 2006. So, he's been around. I'm just glad that he's getting his due. And he is absolutely a fantastic pick for Blade. He's going to knock it out. He is the proto Wesley Snipes. Like, you could literally do... If Blade did age, which the point is he doesn't, if he did, they could easily do a 30-year apart Blade situation with those two actors, and it would work seamlessly, would it not?
Yeah, most definitely, man. I mean, I can see just the menace in some of his performance, but also just like the heart and everything. And I hate to be like correct Mundo. Yes, best supporting actor, Chase is correct, but not for Moonlight, for Green Book, just this past year. So. Yeah, he is insanely talented, man, and the fact that, I mean, he was part of the whole just redeeming True Detective season 3 sort of thing.
Yeah, I haven't watched I haven't watched any of it, actually, True Detective.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't either, but I have so many friends who are just massively invested in the show, and they said the second season with Vince Vaughn and a few others is bad, but, you know, Ali's just portrayal was amazing in that third season. You know, there's a time jump that goes down where, you know, it ages him, and it's still the case that he was not able to properly crack when he was younger, and so
that's cool.
I don't know, man. I just loved Green Book, where he was playing that you know, just seasoned jazz musician so amazingly. It's goddamn. You haven't seen it, have you?
I have not.
Green Book is so good.
Nope, I haven't. All right, well, let's move on. Welcome to Tiger Man and Wet's 23 and everyone else that's come in.
Yeah.
Cult Film Video. What's up?
Yeah, this is a big one to move on to. Because
frickin' Mrs. Thor. That's going to be interesting, too, but that's not part of our
what are your thoughts on that, though? Just to really
honestly, I like it because Jane becomes Thor in the comics, so the fact that they're doing that in the movies, I'm actually appreciative of.
And I'm actually very confident in Taika directing it.
Yeah,
that's where I'm okay.
That's going to be fun.
I think it's going to be, amusing. Okay, this is...
Next story.
This was one of the biggest...
And I was generous in picking the grown-up picture of Edward Furlong, by the way. Like, there are some unflattering pictures of this dude as he is. And this is one of the more generous ones.
And unfortunately, I think back to stuff that I've heard from a lot of friends of mine at the conventions, and even just other people in the industry, like Cody, where he was like, Eddie Furlong was not very nice to me when I met him, and you know, he was kind of an asshole. Anyway, for continuity's sake, I'm very glad that they kept this reveal safeguarded. But my theory...
Well, but why for just the extra month between the teaser or between the first trailer and now? I guess they needed some reveal for Comic-Con.
Maybe that, but also my other theory...
Didn't they actually drop the news before Comic-Con, or did they drop it at Comic-Con?
No, it was at the panel, dude.
Did he come out?
No.
Because they have to get him in shape. Guaranteed, it's because they have to get him in shape, dude.
I honestly don't even know if it's that.
I know that's ironic coming from me, but I guarantee
whatever. It's not that. It's not that.
They need to get him in shape, honestly, to make him look like.
But yet, as far as Comic-Con shit goes, as far as Comic-Con shit goes, a lot of the people are saying, well, they gotta get Val Kilmer in shape for that.
He was 3 hours late, possibly messed up. He was cool though. All right, Ben. That was just this weekend at HorrorCon. Okay.
Okay, interesting. Well, Val Kilmer for this new Top Gun movie that he's going to be in. Everybody
not in movie shape.
Has said the same. Everybody has said the same thing though. But that's the thing that is so funny about like Hollywood trainers.
Oh, he won for Moonlight also.
Oh, did he really?
Oh, says Chase.
I don't.
Chase just slapped you down.
I don't think so.
Oh snap! Oh, we got a war brewing.
Yeah.
And I'm not a part of it.
I think they would have said that he won a second
Academy All right, it doesn't
Award.
matter.
Anyway.
Possibly going to be a face transplant, CG face transplant. Not
yeah,
sure what you're referring to.
And that's what people have been saying for a while.
Just putting his face on a better body.
Have him mocap, and then they were gonna which would be really,
Why
really,
would
really,
they
really,
do
really good.
that? That's a bad idea. I don't like that at all. I really don't. That's a terrible idea. Wait, so they're gonna Marvel this shit?
I don't know.
Like, put him in a mocap suit and make him what he should look like as an adult?
Okay, I had heard that.
Like, that's
rumor.
insulting on so many levels.
I had heard that rumor months ago, but I had heard the reason they were going to do that was because they were going to have him as a kid.
Well, yeah, no, but
have him as a kid as opposed to his current age.
Yeah,
and
sure.
Then there was going to have like Connor killed because this is not within the Jenny Smith alternate reality.
No, this is
shit that we've seen.
This is
where
exactly
honestly,
what James Cameron said the last one was supposed to be, which was the third Terminator movie.
As much as I love Jason Clarke, though, I think Jason Clarke is a damn good actor, and he was not.
He was good in Pet Sematary.
And well, dude, he's been great in Zero Dark 30. He's been great in tons of other things, and he wasn't even that bad in that Sega Genesis Smith, whatever the hell you want to call it. But yeah, it was just a bad script behind him. But there has long been the rumor that the mocapped, like, just face of him was going to pop up in this film, and that they were going to do almost like a Carrie Fisher type bit with him. If they announce him to be in it and then do that, I feel like that is a massive misleading. Personally.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I think that's really
that's why he's not in any of the material yet. They got to whip him into movie shape.
Well, and that's where I made the Val Kilmer representation and the fact that he's supposed to be in Top Gun Maverick, and everybody everyone has said that Val Kilmer is supposed to be like super, just let himself go status, and just I don't know.
I'm mispronouncing that? You met Aelin, and I missed Aelin too. So I love meeting Jaime at Mad Monster Party, but Cecil was impossible to find.
He is the man that you should
I'm
prefer
constantly.
to find.
I'm constantly. No, I trust me. I'd prefer everyone find you. You're a prettier face.
Bullshit. You were the. This is the founder of the feast. This is the guy that hired me.
Doesn't
matter.
Doesn't matter.
Come on.
All right. So we're excited that John Connor is back. It's just it needs to be done right. It can't be mocap. Right?
No. Well, yeah, and the fact that there has been zero like distinction and definitive just explanation as to what his part is going to be. I'm still thinking that maybe he will be in it and he's going to be killed, and that's what sets off this weird new future where they have to protect this younger girl. That's what I think.
Okay.
So
all right, well, let's continue on then. So we're gonna boom, next story, and that is Mortal Kombat. The new movie.
Mortal Kombat.
I'm excited about this one.
I'm actually super excited. The fact that James Wan's production team is filming this currently in Australia, and the writer confirmed R-rated, fatalities, craziness.
Yes.
I don't know.
And they have a lot of fatalities to draw upon from the games at this point.
How R-rated will you go is what I wonder. I mean, what boundaries do you have to push for an NC-17 when it comes to gore? It's always sex and stuff that really pushes that boundary. You can be as nasty in America as possible and just... Not really cross that threshold. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I mean, spine connected, head ripping, acid melting, blob type stuff from Reptile. There's so much that they could potentially do. What all we will see leads to be believed, but or leads to be seen, I should say. There is a big character actor from the Raid who has been cast
as Sub-Zero.
To play Sub-Zero, which is fun. So beyond that, we really don't know, and we are just excited at the fact that after a couple PG-13 offerings and then a web series that kind of flirted with the idea of embracing the, source material that didn't really go about it in the second season, they are apparently, going to be doing their thing proper. What's your thoughts, man?
I'm excited as hell about it. I mean, I love the first movie. The second movie is trash.
Yeah,
but I love the first movie. I like the games. I haven't played the 11th one yet because they changed the combat system where it seems like it's more memorization of moves for people, and I'm not a big fan of that. I just like the freeform sort of style. So, but I will have to at least rent it to play it once Ash is officially announced, and they already announced Spawn, so I'm excited to play a Mortal Kombat game using Spawn. But yeah, I mean, the movie, as long as they're doing it R-rated and as long as they're actually going to show fatalities, that's awesome. Like, I love that. If it's like the first movie in any capacity and they up the ante like that, then I'm obviously super on board for it.
Yeah, the first movie had that just wonderful cheese factor. I saw it in theaters. I'm sure you did too, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like a cultural event for me as a...
It was a packed theater, if I remember correctly,
Same for me, too. I saw it at the Christown here in the...
I saw it at Christown, too.
Did you? At the United Artists upstairs?
You had to take the escalator up.
Same there, man.
Yep.
Oh, man.
Wouldn't that be funny?
Craziness. In the same theater, that same opening day. And
Yeah.
we just didn't know each other.
Probably the same screening.
15 years later. Wow.
I should have just looked for the shirt full of hair.
No, actually, back then, I was a punk rocker. Okay. Yeah, I was listening to Bad Religion, and I had spike hair. You guys would have never recognized me.
I guess not. Not.
Yep.
All right, so let's move into the next
this is
one.
we can easily move over to.
All right. Hellraiser!
We're singing the Ozzy. Well, actually, a song by none other than Lemmy from, yes, that's right. Motorhead. Goddamn. Anyway. Hellraiser.
You okay?
Well, because he's dead.
I know. Are you okay?
It sucks, dude.
All right, calm down. It's all right. Life happens.
No, and I was thinking of when we watched the, what was the one that Nick Oakes requested? It was the sci-fi film.
He's requested a bunch.
Oh, I know he has.
Hardware?
Hardware, yes. Lemmy is in Hardware. So,
oh, yeah.
No, he has that cameo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right.
So this is two different ways of Hellraiser news.
Yeah, and
because we haven't covered the first part technically.
Well, and that's the thing. The reboot news was way before even the TV news was announced, and so reboot news is apparently the fact that they're going to be going back to the well for the Hellbound Heart, and maybe even making, I don't know, make Pinhead a female like they had.
Well, and David
intended.
Goyer is rumored to be involved as well.
Yes, he is on a producer standpoint and on a writing standpoint. So that's a possibility. But a corresponding television series is what was announced in the news cycle that we are covering currently. So I think that there is enough of a rich universe where they can do that stuff if we look at the comic books and all of the different subsequent films that they did. But yeah, as far as Clive Barker stuff goes, I'm not as seasoned and not in depth as far as especially Hellraiser type news goes. What is your thoughts on just breaking stuff apart, having one corresponding theatrical aspect, and then a television series? I think in the streaming,
it's the Child's Play treatment.
well, it is, but the same people presumably working on both, as opposed to that despondent kind of approach.
I think it could work very well. It just depends on how they approach it. Obviously, we'll need to learn more about both projects as we can. But it's not even like it's just that they're in the works. It's not a guarantee that they're both coming. It's just that apparently people have acquired the TV rights in order to develop a TV show. So it's far from like a greenlit TV show. It's just that people are working on it while this Hellraiser movie reboot is also in the works. So, assuming they both actually come to fruition, I can only imagine that it's better than... Because we have two different series doing that this year. We have Child's Play, Chucky, and then we also had Critters do the same thing, where they launched a series, and they're launching a reboot movie. And so, it's the same thing with the other two series. So, Hellraiser... They're going to do a reboot movie and a TV series.
I think with Critters, there was a little bit more of an amicable coexistence, for the sheer fact. But Hellraiser, there seems to be the same sort of approach. I just keep thinking of the fact that Dark Tower, I'm sorry to make everything Stephen King, unfortunately. But
yeah, I wish you wouldn't.
Terrible film, and the fact that we still, as the point that he raised, don't just cast your bets on the fact that this is going to actually transpire, because the Dark Tower series, which has lots of big names, Michael Rooker, the villain from Black Klansman, so many other people, it's just a pilot. There's no guarantee Amazon is going to pick it up to series, and it's happened. I mean, the Zombieland series did not get picked up to series. It never happened. They filmed the pilot, and it was not picked up, and it's just lost, in the eons of, interweb time. So no guarantees there, unfortunately. But I think with that alternate universe of all the craziness that the Cenobites, reside within, there is room to expand and tell stories and interesting stuff of them tempting other people. So yeah, I would be down with that, man.
I would too, as long as they don't try and put PG ratings on Hellraiser. By God, if you put a PG rating on Hellraiser,
Clive
then
Barker
I'm out
is
from the
such
start.
a sick bastard. Why would you ever do that?
You can't do that.
Can't.
So.
Everything he's ever
Let's
done.
just assume they won't.
Everything he's ever done has been of the R-rated variety, with good reason.
Now, for a long time, we heard that there was a Gremlins 3 in production. That turns out not to be the case, but what is the case?
You know who still claims it's the case?
Zach Galligan?
The guy that I interviewed.
Of course. But no, what's in the works is Gremlins Secrets of the Mogwai.
Yeah.
Which is what, Fuego?
So it's going to be an animated series done for the WB streaming service, which is going to be launching later this year, to the best of our knowledge, unless stuff is moved around. Because
Pulling the plug makes no difference.
There's so many goddamn streaming services at this point.
A la carte, it's crazy.
Literally insane. I mean, yeah, if you... honestly, the only reason you would still want to plug at this point is probably if you want sports, which I like a few of them, but it still doesn't just advocate or really justify any of this stuff. But so WB's streaming service is going to be doing a prequel series, which is called Gremlins, something of the Mogwai.
Secrets of the Mogwai, right in front of you there?
Right in front of me. News of Booze. Thank you so very much.
No, you know what's fun, though, is because it's on the WB app, I'm going to be able to do that because they're going to absorb the DC Universe app. So I'll just be able to put my money over to there instead of the DC Universe app.
Which really makes me...
So I'll get it done.
Which really makes me think that we should just talk about that streaming service, which has been redubbed HBO Max.
The Warner Brothers one is now HBO Max? Really? The Warner Brothers one is HBO Max? You sure about that?
Well, shit, man. I was going to say, if WB has...
No, HBO is launching their own. Warner Brothers is not HBO.
But the HBO one is going to encompass so many other networks.
It is. But I don't.
Sure?
You know what? No, I'm not sure. Not sure at all.
Well,
no.
Should we,
Someone else do the research for us while we're doing our show.
No, there was a massive amount that is going to be consolidated in the fact that they said that the DC Universe app is going to be. So for instance, earlier today they said that Doom Patrol was renewed for both DC All Access and for HBO Max. HBO Max is going to be a consolidation of so many different television channels, streaming services, and stuff like that. That's why it's going to be like double the price of most of the major players, including Disney, including Hulu, including Amazon. It's a foreboding aspect. I'm moderately interested in this property. Beyond that, I'm just curious the style of animation they're going to go with more so than anything else. Is it going to be a CGI? Is there going to be any sort of like combined 2D, 3D aspect? I really...
Just got a really cool message.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, apparently I've got some incoming pics based on the project that might or might not be being worked on right now.
Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, so...
Oh my god, what did I do to this thing?
There was stuff that we cannot talk about, and Cecil is getting
some I'm showing off camera.
Very exciting information. That's actually one where I will loosen my tie at the excitement.
Oh, we're going to loosen the tie? Okay, all right.
Down for that.
We're halfway through the news, but apparently it's tie loosening time.
Yeah, I'm down for the loosening of the tie.
All right.
So, yes, that's exciting. I mean, I don't know, Galligan and the rest of the crew, and the fact that we still have... Dante claiming that it's a possibility for a third Gremlins movie, but if this is like kind of a bridge to keep people interested in the property, get a renewed interest before they segue into that new live action film, that's maybe what I would suppose could be a possibility. But otherwise, it's a moderate interest for me.
I'll tell you why I'm excited about it.
Tell me.
And it's a very personal thing to me. It doesn't have anything to do with a critic's eye or a critic's taste or anything like that. My current habit, and what has been my habit for about the last 3 or 4 years, is I tend to put an animated show on right before I go to sleep. I'll lay in bed and I'll put my phone.
This to me before,
I'll put my phone, prop it up on next to my speaker, which I listen to the rain, and I'll watch one episode of an animated show, 20 minutes, puts me to sleep pretty well. Like I get tired out just where the episode's ending. And I've caught up on a lot of DC TV recently. I'm going through Batman Brave and the Bold because I never finished that before.
Oh, wow.
But this will be
I was about to say, that's like reaching really far back.
Not that far, no.
That was the one after the Dini series. That was before...
Yeah, it was after the Batman too, though. So it wasn't terribly long ago. But Gremlins, The Secrets of the Mogwai will be a perfect animated show to put on right before I go to sleep. So I'm on board for it. I'm excited about it. Anything Gremlins that's new... If it gets popular enough, we can generate a new movie. So I am going to be a cheerleader for it.
Yeah, and that's why I was saying, like, I'm hopeful that even if they don't have confirmation for that third film, they're hoping that just seeing this, and maybe if it gets good numbers, it will just make the investors in Gremlins 3 that much more interested, and maybe they'll toss the money and we'll get that live action stuff done. So, moving on. Move along, sir.
Oh, hang on. There we go.
Bing
Next
bong.
story.
So funny.
Ba-bam.
So for
This
all
I'll
my,
leave to you.
For all my Hail to Stephen King homers,
Blah.
that's right. Oh, Corey
Corey
Novak
Novak,
giving a
thank you, buddy.
donation, man. Not necessary, but we supremely are appreciative.
I'm a big fan of Corey. Corey sent one of the all-time heartwarmingest pictures when he sent the picture of his framed shirt. That thing was dope.
Yeah, I was about to say, next February when we head back out to Charlotte, we need to make sure to make proper plans.
Indeed. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, so The Stand, yes, all you purists like myself.
Chase is with me.
It is being remade, unfortunately. But, I actually think that there was a lot that was left to be done in that previous, and, well, they really did it with the Marvel comic in many ways. But nonetheless, Josh Boone and his team for CBS All Access is doing a remake 10-episode series of The Stand for CBS All Access streaming. So not on any sort of like broadcast, even like HBO or whatever. Nope, it's going to be exclusively streaming. And Marilyn Manson, of all people, he apparently has some sort of stake in this, as we found out a few weeks ago before our most recent news filming. I have been speculating with all of the Hail to Stephen King people what this could potentially entail, what character he could possibly be playing, because he is actually playing somebody, but more importantly, him and Waylon Jennings, who is like, what, second or third generation of the Jennings family. They've been working on a album of like outlaw country covers and originals and stuff like that, but most importantly, they have done a cover of The End, if I'm not mistaken, which is going to be utilized.
How dare you?
Thank you, News of Booze. It's great. So The End, which is a great Doors song, dude. The both of them have covered that. Manson singing a Doors song to be used in a Stephen King adaptation. That just warms my heart more than you can even realize, man. And so he's also going to be playing a character in it. And I guess more so than anything else, do you remember the Stand miniseries from the early 90s?
Sure.
Pretty well.
Yeah.
What was your thoughts on it, and do you think it needs to be remade?
We still need to review the comic series. We've had that on the docket for about 4 years at this point.
Long time at this point. Dude, well, I mean, we didn't even finish the Dark Tower series. So,
well,
and
you can finish those.
And the Stand came after that.
You can finish those.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the original Stand series actually more so than a lot of the Stephen King adaptations. It was great. It was because they went for the gore for a freaking, what was it, NBC show or something like that? ABC.
Yeah.
So, I enjoyed that they went for it. CP Color, consider this a ranking for the tier. CP can go piss up a rope.
I'll see you tomorrow, CP. I love you, man.
Yeah, he likes to give me shit for my lack of production, but whatever. I'm actually on board for this because I think the story is what's so strong. It's the end of the world via horrible eye-bleeding virus. You know, it's as if Ebola ravaged the world and only a select few people were immune to it, which is not far off from reality right now. Apparently, Ebola has just been announced as an international emergency once again.
That's something Katie was telling me just a couple of days ago. She was like, hey, because I pay attention to this sort of stuff. I'm like, oh, I don't. Thank you for making me scared again.
Yep. Thank you to Mikey Mnemonic because he's cheap, but he contributed $1.99 in pounds.
No, Mikey Mnemonic's my dude. There's nothing about that. All right. Oh, nicely.
It was a nicely produced video. The rankings made his brain hurt. He didn't like where we ranked some things, but that's okay. Wasn't made for you, CP. No, but I'm excited about this because I want to see what they can do with updated, effects. And where did you say it's airing?
That's going to be airing on the same spot as the Picard series, the Star Trek.
NBC?
No. CBS
All. Oh, CBS, right? CBS All Access.
CBS All Access, the same spot that had the Twilight Zone.
But Twilight Zone wasn't particularly gory or anything like that.
But did it have F-bombs? Was there anything racy?
Not to my recollection.
Everybody has told me that the Star Trek Discovery had it's bordering R-ratedness in the fact that there's sex, there's like racy language and so on and so forth. So it's like beyond it's beyond the constraints of your typical network television, but it's not quite like being on Showtime or HBO or Hulu or Netflix or whatever. So that is kind of a bummer if that is the case. And CP is laughing. Show business tomorrow night at
shut the fuck up.
6 p.m. Pacific.
Next story. Next story.
9 p.m. Eastern.
All right.
Willis Greedy.
All right. Jesus Christ. Shut up. All right, so next story
I'm just a
is
guest, man.
Samuel L. Jackson joins Chris Rock's Saw reboot
Yeah.
at Lionsgate. So, to me, I didn't know what to make of this at first, outside of the fact that it's lending a level of credibility to this reboot that I would not have anticipated.
Yeah.
However, it is also pointing it in a direction of a Get Out or Us or otherwise, you know, a black group of main characters, you know. I didn't know how to phrase it without sounding bad, but it's part of this new wave of a
Should
focus
you have
on
said
black
African
culture.
American?
No, black. I think black's the right thing nowadays. I know you said African American before, but I think black's the right thing nowadays. Who knows? We're two white guys in Arizona. All I'm saying is it's a focus on the black culture, which I've actually appreciated in Get Out. I really liked it. Us, I didn't like as much as a movie, but it wasn't because of that. I actually, again, liked the focus on black culture even more so than in Get Out. So I'm a fan of that, and I like the fact that, you know, we're focusing on that. We're getting more diversity in film as a result. But again, just Sam Jackson's name alone lends so much credibility to any franchise, let alone the fact that it's Chris Rock. But Chris Rock and Saw, we covered that already before on the news, not terribly long ago. But
which is where
this is an interesting step, man.
Yeah, we don't often go with casting news, but we just thought that this was interesting because of the fact that it was like kind of doubling down on the aspect that, I don't know, kind of the same thing Scream Resurrection did to a degree where it's very like...
I've heard mixed reviews on that too.
I've heard very bad reviews about that.
I've heard mostly negative, but one... Okay, fair enough.
No,
I say mixed because I heard one okay review.
Well, I heard some bad stuff.
Dr. Wolfula said there was some redeeming qualities.
Okay, well, I mean, once again, art is subjective, and yet... In this particular instance, man, it's very tough to just kind of determine if everyone should be represented, and they should, and yet it doesn't always transpire, and it's sad, and there are certain things that just dwell into a certain, you know, cultural centric, gender centric, whatever it may be aspect, and that's what we would always prefer, but it's not always going to happen with horror. I don't know. I'm personally very stoked in a very white centric Saw franchise.
Very much so.
For this to be transpiring, and I mean, goddamn, man, when it comes to comedy, especially, more Caucasians than myself are, you know, funny when it comes to, you know, the fact that I am a white guy named Jaime Fuego, and yet some of my personal favorite comedians are, you know, guys like Pryor and Chappelle, and even, you know, various others jumping into. Well, you seem like you have something to say.
I do, and I'm waiting for you to finish your run-on sentence. Something that interests me about it is the fact that maybe what was missing in Saw for a lot of people was because Saw was extreme to a lot of people with the gore and the effects, and in horror they oftentimes, to counterbalance that, use humor. And Saw never particularly leaned on that.
That was the one
Saw
thing that
always focused on the horror and the graphic nature rather than throwing in much humor. So maybe that is something even beyond just, oh, Jordan Peele's a black comedian, he can make a horror movie, let's give another black comedian, Chris Rock, a horror series. I think, honestly, it might be because, well, he's a genuine comedian, and maybe we need to add an element of levity to Saw to offset the horrific nature of things that we're seeing on screen, and to maybe draw in a bigger audience.
And that was one of the things that actually turned me off to the Saw series, was the fact that they took themselves so goddamn seriously. And I honestly thought the elaborateness of the traps and the craziness and everything, if there was more of a wise, cracking, quippy type approach, which I think somebody like Chris Rock, you know, could approach and make more interesting, it could lead to a more entertaining film. And so for that sheer fact, I am so all about this resurrection of Saw, even if I've heard the Scream Resurrection is bad. Yeah, it's fine. So, yeah, bring it the hell on, man. And especially with Samuel L. Jackson, man. Goddamn.
He brings a lot of quality, so. All right, next story, Fuego.
Massive amounts. Okay, so we had two big renewals this past weekend at the San Diego Comic-Con, like the con, as they call it. We weren't there, unfortunately.
Unfortunately not. One of these years.
Yeah, we shall get back. But nonetheless, Nosferatu, which we have seen the extent of, we saw the entire series run already because we saw that there is a little inn, and it's still available. I know there's still, 1 or 2 episodes left in the regular season, but if you subscribe to AMC, it's their all access, their streaming service, whatever the hell it is, you can basically stream the entire first season at your leisure. And there's also a bonus, which we have not seen yet, which I am kind of bummed about. So maybe reinstatement shall occur at some particular point. However, to cut to the chase, Joe Hill and his series, Nosferatu. Oh wow. Caught my attention away from something a little bit bigger.
Go ahead, Joe Hill.
Shit, really?
Yeah, right?
Wow. Okay. All right.
Look at close up.
Wow. What? We have a very amazing prop producer behind something that we are in the midst of right now. Anyway, so yeah, Nosferatu. If you want to watch all of the episodes as opposed to waiting for the last couple that are still remaining, you can jump on AMC.com and you can subscribe to their service that allows you to binge the entire series. We did that weeks and weeks ago, so if you want to see our full season 1 review, that is available, and it has been available for like probably 2 months at this particular point. But that has been renewed for a second season, which honestly had to happen if you have read the Nosferatu book. I know Mikey has, I know various other friends of mine have, and so yeah, there's a large amount of story left to be told. But the one that I am really even more so to an extent because of the fact that we've only seen 1 episode is The Boys. And
Susie said, show me. I can't show you, Susie. Yeah. If I showed you, I showed everyone. Yeah,
Chase, shout out to Chase, has also reminded me of the fact that it will all be streaming on Shudder in like just a couple weeks. So, Shudder and AMC have that correlation, and like, I think they're both owned by either Paramount or, I don't know, one of those larger film networks. But lo and behold, The Boys has already been confirmed for a second season as well, which is amazing because it's scary counter programming because of the fact that we are talking about superheroes that recklessly kill, rape in some. I mean, it's hard. It's hard subject matter, and not in that like sort of tantalizing fashion.
And it's dropping really soon too.
Yeah, it's the 27th, I believe.
Yeah, we already reviewed the first episode. It was so enjoyable.
Did you put the spoilers up yet?
I did.
You did. Okay.
Yep. Spoilers
That's
are up.
one thing I wasn't certain about. So, but yeah, The Boys being confirmed for renewal as well as Nosferatu. Amazing. And yeah, I mean, this is one where we really don't have as much to impart as far as, what could come ahead without talking about what we've seen so far and spoiling. So kind of tough, but just recommend to everybody, all of the homies that are watching of the 43, man. Nice solid crowd.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it, guys. Yeah, so massively. Nosferatu, I'm not as excited about the second season as I am about The Boys, even though I've only seen the first episode of the first season of The Boys.
It was super enjoyable, which was great though.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. But still, yeah. Oh, you mean the big guy, my character, essentially? That's what I saw. That's what I saw myself as in the book for sure.
Character, dude.
Yeah, the comic-loving big guy. Absolutely. I don't know. Don't whatever. That's just who I saw myself in the book. That was my way in. So I was bummed that we didn't get more of him.
I always thought of him as the fact that he was the biker who saved her.
Yeah.
And I didn't think about his.
He's the comic-loving hero.
His weight.
Well, look, we don't get much representation. So when I get something like that, I latch onto it.
Sure, if that's the case.
It is the case. It is the case. But that's why I liked it. That's why I wanted more Luke Carmody. But
the fact that he was so about the fact that she could potentially have powers.
Yeah.
It's like, because I read a lot of comic books.
Yeah, I love that, dude. I love that character. So, all right. So, yes, not as excited about Nosferatu, although I will watch the second season because that's what they need to do to finish the book.
You read the book, man.
Yeah, I mean, they only did half the book,
and the comic,
really.
Too. And they actually did kind of tinge on some of the...
Tiny bit.
Just a wee bit.
They'll probably add more of that in the second season because it doesn't feel like they have as much left of the book as they covered in the first season. So
they're going to have to expand, but... How about The Boys? Should we review The Boys comic books? Do you guys want us to review The Boys comic books?
Yeah, let us know.
As far as
if you want us to review The Boys.
Horror, superhero craziness, and just
awesome. Super gory stuff.
Heroes being nasty. I mean...
Behind the same writer as the man behind Preacher.
Man. Garth Ennis, my favorite comic book writer. He is a sick Irish son of a bitch. My God, I love him.
Mikey Mnemonic says you should cosplay Hopper, Cecil. You just need the mustache and Hawaiian shirt. Someone else said that, and I'm actually very tempted to do that on Halloween. To be honest, I'll just get rid of the rest and grow the mustache out a little bit more and get that Hawaiian shirt. Because I'm very tempted to do Hopper. So I think that's gonna happen, guys. I think that's gonna happen. So
my nurse wants you to, Susie says.
My nurse wants you to what?
Cosplay.
Cosplay as Hopper?
Cosplay, I'm assuming.
All right. All right, so poor Susie's like literally about to get a medical procedure. So
Susie, we love you. Everybody in the chat, if you were a fan
Wish
of the
Susie
horror
luck.
show and Susie Von Slaughter, please give all your prayers, positive energy, just love and support.
Indeed.
Yes.
So here we go. Final story.
Yeah.
Bam.
And this is another one that has been floating around for a while because we haven't done the news in a month, which has kind of become the new motif where we're not trying to overwhelm you, and there's some weeks where there's not much to talk about. So we're just kind of playing it by ear. But this was one where, despite the fact that the third season of Ash vs. Evil Dead is donezo, and there's still chatter but no confirmation about a sequel to the Jane Levy Evil Dead remake and stuff. Sam Raimi said there are lots of ideas in conversation, which also include, Kenny, all like those two awesome characters from the television series, more of Jane Levy's character, more of just basically another movie set in the Evil Dead universe. They are not intending to return to television. That's the one thing that when he was talking to Willem Bibiani, who has, he's written for Collider, he's written for Rotten Tomatoes, lots of other awesome spots. I'm familiar with him because he's part of the Movie Trivia Schmodown, which is the Collider kind of movie trivia site that they do, which is really cool. But he talked to Sam Raimi, and Raimi was like, we have so many movie ideas that we were trying to develop. All of them have been just properly... given the blessing from Bruce or whatever, and they all entail just previous stuff that they have done, which is very exciting in my estimation. Do you think it's a cop-out to do more Evil Dead without Bruce, or do you think they should not have Kelly and Paco and just keep it strictly to Jane Levy's character, whose name, unfortunately, is eluding me? Because the more I've thought about it, I love that Evil Dead remake.
I do too. I love it a lot as well. It's one of the best
gross.
remakes that's been made.
And it's so violent.
It absolutely
oh my
is.
God,
but
is it violent.
I'd be for more Evil Dead in any capacity. That's one of the rare franchises I can say that about. And actually, Luke commented from Confused Reviews on our tier ranking saying Evil Dead should better be an A or an S tier because there's really not many weak entries in the franchise, and he's right. Yeah. He's really right. I mean, when you consider
after we did that
series,
ranking recently, where
you got to be thinking about all that.
That's not a series that has any weak links, in all honesty.
No. So, if you guys missed that, by the way, we did a ranking of 20 of the biggest horror franchises in a tier format. That's something, there are over 160 horror franchises out there, so this is something that we can do at least 8 episodes of if you enjoy it. So go watch that video and let us know if you enjoy it in the comments down below. But he said he didn't.
Say Chase is right about that. Raimi is like, we need Fetty to actually do it. If he's not involved, there's like donuts for a point behind it. So I don't know. I
mean, who's to say? I mean, Bruce said he retired, but then he's also playing the voice in the video game too.
Yeah, but the video game is massively different as opposed to that on camera. He said that he was so beyond just the nastiness of like putting his head up prosthetic assholes and all this different nasty stuff that he did on that series, man. So I don't know. I thought it was massively entertaining, but you never know.
That's love the video on horror movie ranking. Thanks, Dennis. Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, Dennis, we greatly appreciate you. Just as a lasting thing, since we have 7 minutes left, is there any bit of news information that we did not cover from the last few weeks that you guys would have any interest in us giving a little bit of insight, discussion, whatever the hell it may be? Otherwise, we will probably just rappy-dappy that up in just a few minutes. But obviously, shout out to Chase, Susie. Thank you so very much for paying attention. Producer Dave, one of the co-founders of the Feast, and all of his awesomeness. Sarah Counts, thank you so much for all the Hail to Stephen King support, girl. Charles, awesome.
Ellsbury and Indie Flick Jim are also here. I don't think I got to shout them out yet. So
yeah, and once again, Mikey Mnemonic, man. So Mikey, as I mentioned, dude, when we were doing our review of the trailer from Comic-Con, could you just chime in really briefly, maybe a sentence or two, about the comparisons between the television series and the video game? Because I mentioned you in the review, dude, of the trailer. I was like, it's based on the books. It's not based on the video game. And the fact that you were all about that. Okay, Indie Flick Jim, he said, thanks, guys.
Yep. Not a lot of questions, so not a huge deal, guys. It's okay. But yeah, no, we appreciate you guys joining us for the News with Booze. If you're watching this after the fact, comment down below with your thoughts on any of the news stories that you might have. Jesus, my cat is going nuts right now.
Yeah, psychoid. My goodness.
What are you doing?
Johnny Utah says,
Good
what's
Lord.
something you guys know about Susie that she doesn't know you know? Oh, that's not very nice.
That's not a good question. We're not going to do
that's
that to Susie. How
that
dare
has
you?
nothing to do with horror movies.
Yeah, not at
What the hell
all.
is wrong with you?
Trent Davis is here. Two Stephen King movies this year. There's more than that. There's a lot of Stephen King stuff this year.
Well, there's there's still two left, I guess.
Yeah.
Actually, technically three if we ever see. You know what's funny? It popped up in my feed in the tall grass, but it's still not available yet. Like, it popped up on my Netflix that I could add it to my cache.
Oh, yeah, they let you pre-add stuff
Yeah,
now.
which is really strange. Yeah, but we still have Dr. Sleep, and we have It Chapter 2. If you guys haven't seen our thoughts on the final trailer for It Chapter 2, Cecil and myself on the Hail to Stephen King set broke it down, and we watched it and gave lots of awesome thoughts.
So for those of you that are still here, there is something coming up on our channel or having to do with our channel that is huge. It is the next really big project that we are going to be working on. Me specifically, I'm not going to announce it, but I have been dropping hints about it on our social media and stuff. So if you want to make sure you're on top of that, make sure you're following us on Facebook at facebook.com/The Horror Show channel. We are at Horror Show 666 on Twitter and The Horror Show 666 on Instagram. And you guys, it's going to be really big news that ideally, if we can announce it, we're going to announce it around mid-October. So keep your eye out for that, but I'll be dropping little hints throughout. There's even a hint on set right now as to what it is, but I can't express what that is. We'll step off camera before we sign off, so you guys can take a gander around if you really want. But
Oh, you're dropping the hints then.
I'm dropping little hints. I mean, they, maybe not. We don't need to step off, but the hints are there. If you look around and you are very observant, then you'll know there's something really big we're working on, and I'm really excited to announce it. But that's the kind of pictures we were looking at, so hang in with us, you guys. If you're not a huge fan of our content just yet, I guarantee you're going to be coming back in just a couple of months, so you might as well hang out until then, just for those little tidbits as we drop them. I mean, it's an exciting thing, right, Fuego?
Oh, of course. Massively in that sheer regard. I gave you guys a shout out on my reaction video to Creepshow 2019. Mikey held to the Yizzle,
Oh, thanks,
man.
Mikey.
Yeah. What's the video spot? I mean, is it of the YouTube variety? And let everybody in the chat know so that people besides ourselves can check it out. So,
Yeah, indeed.
thank you, Sarah.
So thank you guys very much for watching. Again, if you like the video, click that like button and subscribe if you want to make sure you don't miss other videos like this and tons of other varieties going forward. Thank you guys very much. We love doing the news, and I want to try and do it more than once a month, but sometimes this is how it happens. But thank you guys very much. Until next time, I've been Cecil Laird, and it is on YouTube, Just Mikey Mnemonic. If you guys want to go check it out. So
Yes,
check out how he's
please
spelling it
do.
in the comments section. But yes, I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias a Jaime and Fuego.
And remember, guys,
Stay
stay scared. Thank you all.
Gracias.